So, good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to SKG Tier 1. My name is George Sanderson, and it is a pleasure to bring you under the lights here at the Lusail International Circuit. It is round 8 of the season. We're coming towards the crunch time of Season 16, and alongside me in the commentary box, what will hopefully be an entertaining Qatar Grand Prix, I have Ollie Lois. Ollie, good to have you back. I feel like we've just about got our heart rates back to resting rates after Baku last week. So, what can we expect from this evening? For some reason, I can't hear you, Ollie. Let me just check I've done the options in the stream. It says I have. So, we'll go back to a party instead. I thought it would work with us both being on Xbox, but unfortunately it hasn't, so... Yeah, we will just redo it as a party instead. Let's get Ollie in here. There we go. So hopefully that will all be sorted. In the meantime, we'll do our little intro of Ollie back again. Make sure you've ticked the box if there is a box available for you, Ollie. And then hopefully we'll be able to hear you this time around. So apologies for that, chat. But we will hear Ollie's intro in a second. And we will see how he is doing and what we can expect from this weekend. But we're at the moment looking at Risbo as he goes around this Qatar circuit. Ollie, are you there?
I am indeed.
There we go. It's good to have you back, and hopefully the stream can hear you now. I'm assuming you've ticked the box. But yes, we can hear you on stream, so that's all good.
Perfect.
But, yeah, so, as we were saying, welcome to Qatar. Our heart rates have just about got back to a normal resting rhythm after the excitement that was Baku. Ollie, what are your expectations for this race here tonight?
Well, personally for me, I'm not expecting as much excitement as Baku. Let's put it that way. I'm going to be honest, I think that the racing might be a bit dull. Not saying that these guys don't know how to race side by side, but it's not a track that personally you see much overtaking going on. So you have the one DRS zone down towards turn 1, and that's really your main overtaking opportunity. With Baku, you've got plenty of long straights, harsh braking zones. So I don't really know what to expect, but I'm not expecting. Well, I hope I get proven wrong by this, but I don't know. It might be a bit dull.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and having watched Tier 2 earlier on, it was a very strategic race. It wasn't particularly about on-track action and overtakes, it was more about who looks after their tyres best, who makes the pit stop at the right time, those sorts of factors. So I agree that we may not be in, certainly after the excitement that was Baku last week, we may not be in for the same level of adrenaline-filled action, it's fair to say. But fingers crossed we get a half-decent race at least, and we'll try and keep you as entertained as possible, of course, throughout the stream. We are just about to see our first lap time of the session by Risbo in the Alpine. It's a 1:20.6, which is about 3/10 slower than the Tier 2 pole time from earlier on this afternoon, but I fully expect we will see that lap time be demolished over the course of this session. Looking for who is next. I believe it's one of the V-Cubs. It's Parker who comes into the pit lane. So no lap time from him. Mark Daniel, though, coming across the line, has invalidated his lap, but is going again. So Mark Daniel, of course, got a podium last weekend in Baku, a second place finish on his Tier 1 debut becoming the 40th rookie to finish on the podium in their debut race. And that impressed McLaren. He is now a full-time driver for the Papaya team, replacing the man who reserves for Sauber tonight, AMR Dom. He was a full-time McLaren driver but hadn't featured for the team for a number of rounds. They have since replaced him with Mark Daniel, and he'll be hoping to set the benchmark at McLaren moving forward. A benchmark has certainly been set though by Katsby and Jacek, a 1:20.1, eclipsing the Tier 2 pole time set by SKG Nico earlier on this afternoon. And Katsby showing the pace. Is this the Katsby of old returning to form, Ollie? Because of course he took that win last time out, and now he's looking quick again.
Yeah, you know, you love to see it. You love to see it. Man has always been there and thereabouts in SKG from what I've been commentating on in the past seasons and every now and again. Yeah, you would love to see it. Yeah, definitely keeping my fingers crossed for Casper to continue with this good momentum.
Absolutely, and Mark Daniel showing some great pace yet again, up to 4th with his provisional time, albeit over 4/10 of a second down on that provisional pole time set by Katsby. And Jacek Takubi has just crossed the line in his Ferrari to set himself on the second row, and AMS Venzi just behind him as well goes 4th quickest so far. So half the grid just over have set their first lap times of the session. We'll wait and see if anyone else is going to improve going forward. It looks like Esko Klevi and a few other drivers just coming back into the pit lane there, and indeed they are. But we have a few cars still out on track at the moment. Madison Cube on a lap time, albeit a not very representative one, and I believe he has just run out of fuel as well, so he'll be coming back into the pit. Sausage Joe has invalidated, and Ollie, I'm going to come to you for this man right here, currently yet to set a lap time, but reserving for Mercedes and making his Tier 1 debut tonight, Supply Raptor. He's a man that both myself and you know quite a bit about.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know where to start with this man, yeah. Racing in leagues with him in the past, he is very, very quick, but I don't know how he's going to fare tonight with the competition, how close it is in SKG Tier 1. And when I was racing him, he was essentially a second ahead of everyone else anyway. So I've got my fingers crossed for him. I'm wishing him all the best, and yeah, hopefully he can get a good lap and show us he belongs here.
Absolutely, and it looks like he is just about to start his flying lap, so we go right on board with the Mercedes for the first lap time of this qualifying session under the lights in Qatar, sticking all the way to the left hand side before throwing the car through turn 1, shifting down to 4th, getting back to the right hand side for turn 2, another 4th gear corner. A lot of medium speed corners at this circuit as we head towards the double right hander of turns 4 and 5. Very easy to invalidate, as you've just seen there with Supply Raptor, and that will be his lap done and dusted. But it's an interesting circuit, Qatar. There's, like I say, a lot of medium to high speed corners, which makes it very difficult to overtake, as we have said earlier on. Turn 1, your biggest overtaking opportunity around this track, but hopefully we see some action all over the circuit here tonight. Who else do we have on the lap time at the moment? Sausage Joe is invalid and runs very wide coming through the left-hander of turn 15 just before the final corner, and I fully expect to see the Sauber duck into the pit lane here, and he does. So we have a lot of drivers on outlaps at the moment, and the lead driver of those is the man currently second place, Tom Campbell, who looked so good last weekend in Baku. Took pole position, if I remember correctly anyway, took pole position, and was dominant throughout that race for the vast majority of it. He didn't take pole, sorry, he was 5th last week in qualifying, but yeah, he was dominant in the race, and then just sort of threw it away late on, and it allowed Katsby and Jacek to take his first win in what had been 28 races, and became our 7th different winner in 7 races this season. But we're going to keep an eye on Tom Campbell as he starts his lap time, and hopefully we won't have a second appearance of the commentator's curse like we had on Supply Raptor's lap time. So through turn 1, a decent enough run back to the left-hander of turn 2. Took it 5th gear there, Tom Campbell, a high gear than Supply Raptor chose. Now for the double right-hander, this is where the Mercedes was caught out, and Tom Campbell keeps it clean through turn 4 and through turn 5. Sector 1 split, he is 21 thousandths of a second quicker than his personal best, but the game is saying that is a purple sector 1 from the V-carb, so perhaps it's the middle sector and final sector where he lost his time in comparison to the Red Bull of Kacpian Jacek through the right-hander at turn 9. Now this really difficult double left of 10, and then this second sort of flat-out part of turn 11 brings you towards the second sector split, and now he's 2 tenths up, gains a lot through the middle sector, but runs wide through the first right-hander, and that will be the lap invalid for the V-carb. It looks like he's going to continue on for the rest of it, just to see what his pace would have been had he been able to complete this run. Through the final corner comes Tom Campbell. It was a very impressive effort as he comes up to the line. What would it have been? It would have been provisional pole, a 1:20.112, and if it wasn't for that wide moment at turn 12, he would be on provisional pole.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the car that was directly behind him. Another man that last week kind of had a mare while he was looking so good, and that was Lesko Kalevi. He was 2 tenths up, but pretty much invalidated the same place as Tom Campbell. So it's easy even for these guys that are so good at the game, as Casper goes faster by a very small amount.
Yeah, Casper, a slight improvement on his second lap. Parker goes second with a 1:20.2. He invalidated his first run, or came into the pits at the end of his first run. I believe he was because he was invalid, and he goes again, putting himself on the second row of the grid. The other Red Bull of Venzi is just starting his lap time. Behind him is Magnussen Cube, who goes P12. We've got Takubi coming through the final corner, but he is down on his time at the moment. We'll see if he managed to create something magical in the final sector. He did! Wow! It said when we hopped on board he was a 10th down. He finishes a 10th up on his lap time, and just about in second place. Very close between him and Parker, who's next. That looks like
Milan.
It was Milan. He crosses the line. No real improvement from him. Risbo up to the line goes P9. Good effort by the Alpine. I'm going to try and see if I have Leonard Minders on my friends list. I don't believe I do.
I can get him in.
But yeah, he's struggling to get in at the moment and is still sat in the pit lane, yet to set a lap time. So hopefully we can get him into the lobby. FST Robin, invalidated again on his lap, comes in, still yet to set a lap time. The bottom 5 all yet to set a lap in this qualifying session. So the pressure is on Robin Raptor, Trosh, Sausage Joe and Leonard Minders to find something inspirational in their final run of this qualifying session. In fact, Sausage Joe just sets a lap now, good enough for 16th. It's a 21.2. Ghosty improves to a 20.7, but only improves by 1 place, up to 14th. Supply Raptor invalid again on his hot lap, so there will be no improvement from him. Is he thinking of going again? It looks like he is, so we'll keep an eye out for any improvement from him. I believe he is the only driver actually on a lap at the moment. Leonard Minders has put his EA in the chat, Ollie, just in case you're reading it, if you don't already have it. So Leonard, look out for an invite from Ollie. Hopefully we can get you back in the session with enough time to do one final run in this qualifying session. 4.5 minutes to go then under the lights at the Losail International Circuit in Qatar. And can anyone stop Kacpian Jacek going from race win in Baku to pole position in Qatar? Raptor. This doesn't appear to be a terrible lap, although he just slightly missed the apex.
Dan Casper in the first sector. I just had to double check. I was watching on board, obviously.
Wow.
occasionally says purple sectors, but you know it's not actually real. But he actually is faster than the pole sitter, so fingers crossed it doesn't invalidate the final 2 corners.
So this could be special. He pushes the absolute limits there on the exit turn 15, but stays just valid. Out the final corner comes the Raptor, and he bails to the pits. I don't think he was perfectly happy with his lap time there, and has decided he only has time to pit now if he wants to head out on fresh tyres at the end of this session. I think that's why the Mercedes has opted not to set a lap there. So Supply Raptor putting himself under some pressure for the final run in this qualifying session. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in qualifying, and I expect we're about to see the track become very busy all over again. Currently only Robin and one of the V-Carbs out on track. That is Tom Campbell, currently 4th place. Of course, he did set a lap time earlier on in the session, Tom Campbell, that would still be good enough for provisional pole if he hadn't invalidated. So we know he has pace. It's just, can he put it all together over the course of one lap? Tom looking for his 2nd pole position of the season. But for now, we are going to ride around with FST Robin. Yet set a lap time, the McLaren driver. It's an all-British pairing nowadays at McLaren, with Robin alongside Mark Daniel, his teammate, currently in 11th place. A lot of traffic coming out the pit lane there, but no one in the way of the McLaren as he dives into turn 1, 4th gear, back to the right hand side for turn 2, the long sweeping left-hander, again 4th gear, uses all the curb on the exit and takes the shortest run possible through turn 3, the double right-hander now, where we've already seen drivers get caught out. But that is a very clean run through there from FST Robin. His first sector is a 29.692. I'm not sure how that compares.
That's on pace with Casper.
But as Ollie says, it's on pace. So a good start to the lap for the McLaren of Robin as he heads now through sector 2, the winding part of turn 8 and then 9, and then the heavy braking of turn 10, the long left-hander which leads you through 11, uses all the track once again. This is looking very pacey from FST Robin. His 2nd sector split, he crosses that at 56.585, and apparently it's a purple sector 2 as well. This could be a special lap time from the McLaren. 2 corners to go. Turn 15 keeps it within track limits. Now for the final corner. Hard on the brakes, 4th gear, back on the power as quickly as he can, uses all the exits, stays to the left-hand side for the shortest possible run, and over the line. It's only good enough for 5th in the end. But boy, was that close from the McLaren. What an effort by FST Robin. He only had 1 lap to do it in, and he came oh so close. 3rd row of the grid, though, for the McLaren.
Yeah, I was watching the sectors, and it was the first 2 sectors were almost identical to Casper, but he just lost, unfortunately, a 10th or 2 in that final. But still, yeah, very, very respectable to be up there with Tom Campbell and likes like Venzi, Jesko, Calabi and all that. So yeah, still very, very pleased with that.
See a bit of teamwork potentially here from the V-Cars. It looks like Tom Campbell is going to give a tow to Parker heading down the pit straight. Tom Campbell comes up to the line and goes quickest with a 20.083. We're almost into the 1 minute 19s. His teammate now comes across the line. Tom not really giving a teammate to Parker there, but I don't think he was really close enough as he crossed the line. Katsby and Jacek then through the final corner. He will be the first man to cross the line as the checker flag falls. Will he be able to improve on his lap time? Oh, he does, but not by enough to take that pole position. It's a 120.113. Takubi is flying. The other Rebel of Venzi goes 5th, dropping Robin down into 6th place. Takubi up to the line now, currently 3rd. What can he do? It's pole, and it's into the 19s. A 119.925. Fantastic effort there by the Ferrari. Esko Calevi next up, championship leader, only 4th for him. His championship rival Parker is only in sector 2 at the moment. We have the Sauber of Dom across the line. It's 15th for him. The other Ferrari of Gosi, currently 17th, moves to 14th. So slight improvement as Magnussen Cube then drops him back down a position. Risbo across the line goes 6th. Fantastic lap by the new Alpine full-time driver there. The Aston Martin of Crabs, we just missed him, but he goes up to 4th. Fantastic effort by him. Leonard Minders up to the line. and it's only 18th, but here comes Parker, only 4th, and that might be that. I think that is everyone across the line apart from Tom Campbell, who is of course on an in-lap, and it's Takubi then, who takes pole position here in Qatar for his second pole of the year. And what a lap by the Ferrari, the only driver in the 1 minute 19s at the end of qualifying. Fantastic effort by the Belgian.
Yep. Once again, never ruled out Takubi.
You never can. That is a record extending 12th pole position of his career. 3 more pole positions than any other driver in SKG Tier 1. He really is that one lap specialist, and he'll be hoping tonight to be able to convert that pole into a record-breaking 11th career victory. He was in the fight for it last week in Baku before a wheel issue caused him to retire, and he'll be hoping to make up for that here tonight as we get a very quick look at the race order there at the end before it disappears. We will take you through the grid now then. So it's Takubi on pole with Tom Campbell alongside him on the front row. Catesby and Jacek and Parker 3rd and 4th. A very good qualifying for VCarb. Once again, 2nd and 4th for them. They have been the team to beat all weekend across all 4 tiers in Qatar. Krabs and Esko Clevy on the 3rd row with Risbo and Venzi. Robin and Callum rounding out the top 10. Ethan Quigley 11th in the second Williams with Supply Raptor 12th on his Tier 1 debut. Mark Daniel ended up 13th after such early promise with his pace in qualifying. Magnuson Cube 14th, and then it's Ghost Team, Milan, Dom, Leonard Mindars, Trosh and Sausage Joe rounding out your grid tonight. But yeah, VCarb clearly the ones to beat so far this weekend. They won from pole with SKG Nico in Tier 2 earlier on. They won from 6th with Underpro in Tier 3, and they took 2nd and 4th in Tier 4. So they have yet to finish with a car below the top 4 in any tier. They are really the ones to watch tonight. And I believe we are about to go to the 5 red lights then. Here we go. The Qatar Grand Prix. It's seen a lot of news attention recently with goings on elsewhere in the world, but here tonight it's SKG as we go racing for round 8, and it's Takubi from pole as we have a spinner in the background already. Milan doesn't even make it to the first corner before he's facing the wrong direction. Takubi leads though, and it's a commanding advantage so far. Tom Campbell in second. Krabs is all the way up into third, challenging Catesby and Jacek side by side through turns 3 and towards turn 4, but Catesby holds on. Further back, Parker dropping down to 6th, Esko Kalevi up to 5th, and the championship rivals are going to be doing battle with each other out on track here tonight. Ollie, did you get a glimpse of what happened in the background there on the run to turn 1?
No, I can't say I did, but I'm guessing he's just too much on the throttle, and unfortunately he's lit up the rears and yeah, just tucking him round. But yeah, horrible start. And yeah, I mean, he's gonna need safety car now. He's already 8 seconds off the back of the train, and once DRS is enabled, that gap's just gonna keep going up and up. So unfortunately for Milan, yeah, as there's another car going round.
Yeah, that is the Aston Martin of AMS Callum. His teammate Krabs up in 4th at the moment, up 1 from where he started. Parker dropping from 4th to 6th. Your big mover so far, Leonard Minders on his Tier 1 debut from 18th to 12th in the first lap, and Sausage Joe from the back of the grid to 13th. So great starts from them as Takubi sets the fastest lap across the line, of course. But that time will come down throughout this race. But you mentioned it there, the DRS train is so important here in Qatar, and these drivers will be begging that they stay within a second of the car ahead, because getting that toe down the pit straight is absolutely vital in this race. And already you can see a bit of a gap opening up between the 2 McLarens of Robin and Mark Daniel.
Yeah, it's interesting that our 2 championship protagonists of Esko and Parker are on different strategies. One's on mediums and one is on hards. So that's something to note come the end of the race. So that'll be interesting. We'll see who can outplay the other one.
Yeah, absolutely. The strategy is so crucial around this circuit. Tyre wear very high indeed, as we see a Sauber getting out of shapes there. That was AMR Dom heading into turn 10, ran very sort of wide to the left-hand side before the entrance of turn 10. But yeah, you can see there all the tyre strategies chosen by our drivers tonight, and the majority on hards, but there are a few drivers opting for the medium tyres from the start. Catsby and Jacek Krabs and championship leader Esko Klevi all on the mediums. Interestingly, Williams not splitting their strategies here. Both drivers going for the medium tyres. So
I'm going to correct you.
See. Go for it.
You said championship leader Esko Klevi, but I believe you are wrong.
He's not.
It is Parker by 1 point.
I completely forgot Parker with that 2 points that he picked up. Sorry, 4 points that he picked up in Baku in the end after Magnus, after someone, I think it was.
I think you'll know it was
Portuguese
only 2
Beast.
points because he was 1 point behind, and now he's 1 point ahead.
He ended up being promoted to 8th after one of the Hasses. It was either Magnussen Cube or Portuguese Beast picked up a post-race penalty. Which has now seen him start the day on 93 points with Esko Klevi on 90. So a 3-point gap at the top of the Drivers' Championship. 30 points further back to Tom Campbell in 3rd place. But at the moment, he is closing that gap with him up in 2nd. But yeah, we saw Tom Campbell also did finish on the podium in the end post-race. His 3-second penalty from Baku was taken away as the game incorrectly awarded him 2 warnings in one instance that handed him his 3-second time penalty. So Tom Campbell ending up 3rd with the fastest lap last time out. He's 2nd here today, and he is trying to stay with Takubi.
Still
He's
going.
started to open up a bit of a gap.
Yeah, he's still setting the 2 fastest laps in a row, even after the first lap, on the hards of all tyres. Takubi's got the pace, and I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's going to be hard for him to escape the rapid V car behind, and also Casper, who's lurking there. But
And Catsper, of course, on medium tyres as well. We can't forget that he is probably going to be wanting to make overtakes at the front of the field as soon as possible, because those yellow wall mediums will start to die off anytime around about lap 9 or 10 onwards in this race. If drivers are doing a one-stop, we expect them to be going towards lap 10 to maybe even as late as lap 13 before making their only pit stop of the race as we ride along with Catsby and Jacek. But yeah, it is crucial, the tyre management around this circuit, but also that you stay within a second of the car ahead, and everyone who hasn't been caught up in an incident is doing exactly that. The entire top 18 are in the same DRS train, so despite Takubi being at the final corner and his teammate being a corner further back, they are all in the same train. But it is a long train which is both headed and tailed by Ferrari at the moment. Takubi leading the way, Ghosty picking up the rear in P18, although you can see Magnussen Cube in the Haas 1.0 seconds back now. He did get DRS that time around, but perhaps the bottom 3 starting to drop off a bit, which is a shame for Supply Raptor, not exactly been the debut he was hoping for. So lap 5 of 29, and it is it's going to be one of these races, it feels like, Ollie, where we're going to be seeing drivers getting close but not close enough to make overtakes, and most of the action, I think, is going to come around the pit stops. Who makes the undercut work, and then whose tyres will last until the end of the race as well. So it may be a slow burner, but hopefully around the pit stops and around the end of the race, we'll have some really good action.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, one thing I did notice on the when commentating Tier 4 is that the undercut isn't really that powerful around here, which I'm surprised about. But I was seeing around some tracks, someone will undercut and be 2-3 seconds ahead. But actually, the people that were undercutting were coming up behind people they were trying to undercut. So it's something to note that realistically, the undercut isn't really as powerful, so we may have to just keep that in the mind.
Absolutely, and we don't expect many pit stops for the next few laps, as we say. The mediums should be able to do a few more laps. What have you seen?
I don't know. I might have disconnected.
Oh, not ideal. We will. Yes, you
Yes, I
have.
have.
We'll send you an invite.
Everyone left for me.
It's rare that we have to send one of the commentators
Yeah,
invites
I know,
to
that's-
rejoin to rejoin the lobby. That might be the highlight of the race so far, if we're being honest. It has been, as Luchis has put in the chat, holy snooze fest. Welcome to Qatar, guys, on the F1 game. It's not exactly been a classic in real life. It's certainly not a classic so far here tonight, and we will do our absolute best to keep you as entertained as possible throughout this race. Yes, we are, after the absolute classic that was Baku last weekend, as we see Goat Ghosty now pick up a 3-second time penalty. That is him and Sausage Joe on 3 seconds so far, but after the classic that was last weekend in Baku, which was by far the best race of the season so far, an absolute thriller up until the very last lap of the race, we're now back down to earth somewhat with Qatar, and we are seeing an overtake, mind. Robin and Venzi battling over 9th place. Venzi trying to go back down the inside of the McLaren, but doesn't quite manage it, so overtakes are possible here, but it's few and far between. And I think that might be Robin starting to get a bit impatient behind the Red Bull and just wanting to get that move done as soon as possible. But TJ in the chat saying, GB, start playing I Spy, entertain us. We will potentially end up doing that at some point in this race. But for the time being, we are still racing away and getting towards the pit stop window here in Qatar, which has become something of a sporting capital in recent years. You've got MotoGP that have raced here since the early noughties. You've got the World Endurance Championship racing at this circuit. In fact, it was meant to be the season opener this season, but it's been postponed, of course, due to the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East. So, and of course, F1 taking part at this circuit since, I believe it's 2021. So a lot of motor racing has come to Qatar in recent years. A lot of other sports as well. Of course, the World Cup back in 2022. Can you tell we are going through the facts already? It has taken us 8 laps. Not even that, and we are already going through.
Got a battle going on.
There's an overtake! It's a battle. Robin and Venzi are the only two putting on a show, and they're still side by side. A bit of wheel banging between the two of them. Robin holds on to 9th place, and honestly, we might as well just stay on board with this battle from now onwards, because they seem to be the only two drivers actually battling on track at the moment.
Yeah, I think you didn't I?
You've disconnected again, I think. Either that, or you have seen something else, but Takubi is absolutely fine. Thank you for the mini heart attack.
No, that was
that
the point. I'm fine, I was just trying to create some...
Apologies, chat. TJ got shook, everyone got shook, because they're looking at... You absolute... The people I have to work with, chat. The people I have to work with. Takubi is doing fine.
This is where he now does have something go wrong. And then
this is now where he disconnects, or we see him turn right on a straight again, because his wheel has an issue or something.
That's true,
But
yeah.
hopefully not, because Takubi is going, as we've mentioned in the last few races, he is going for that record-breaking 11th victory in Tier 1 as Magnussen Cube speeds into the pits and leaves the session. That is someone, I think boredom set in there for Magnussen Cube, and he's decided he doesn't want to be a part of it any longer. So our first retirement of the session. Surprisingly, Callum and Milan are still going in this race, and a huge props to the pair of them for continuing on, because this must be the most boring race for these two. Out at the back of the field, Callum on mediums, Milan on a set of hards, no one around them, and they're still going, so fair play to those guys. A huge props for them. But at the moment, Takubi leading the way very comfortably at the moment. There has been very little threat from behind. Robin has dropped outside of DRS now because of his battle with Venzi. He is now 1.1 seconds back from Risbo in 8th place, so potentially we could see a battle start up over 9th place yet again, because Robin, as it stands, will not be getting DRS down the pit straight.
Alright.
Delightful. This is what I have to work with.
Milan! There's a car. Oh, Sausage Joe's gone round.
Yeah, Sausage Joe
He's losing half
seemingly
his front
spun. Maybe not by himself then. That is one we've not seen. We're keeping an eye on Venzi to see if he's close enough to make a move, but it may not surprise you to see he is not close enough. Instead, we look in the background to Leonard Minders down the inside at turn 1. There's a bit of contact between him and the Sauber of Dom, and Minders just about keeps it facing in the right direction, but that leaves him vulnerable into turn 3, and down the inside, sorry, turn 2, down the inside goes Trosh, and Leonard Minders, instead of moving up to 12th, he drops back down into 14th. So, again, not ideal debuts for either of them. Sausage Joe is trying to cause a safety car, I feel like. We'll keep an eye on that. Either that or he's got a puncture. No, he's just trying to crash out. Sausage Joe, I'm waiting for the retirement message to come up, but Sausage Joe potentially
There we go.
puncture, but he retires in the pit lane. And we're down to 18, so, you know, if people keep on retiring out of boredom, you never know, Milan and Callum could still end up with a point or two in this race.
Yeah, you never know, yeah. Or they're just going to be in for the next 20 laps of nothingness.
Yeah, I don't believe we've had a safety car all weekend. We didn't in Tier 2 as into the pits comes Krabs. Now we have some action then. Krabs into the pits, big front lockup as he comes in, but doesn't speed under the pit lane limit. And are we about to see a battle towards the front as Tom Campbell is closing in onto Kubi here on lap 12 of 29. He's getting closer and closer, and the top 3 have well and truly escaped in this race. 2 seconds clear of Esko Klevi, who is now up into 4th following Krabs' pit stop. He pits on to a set of the hard tyres. There's a reminder of the tyre compounds everyone is on. And Krabs perhaps trying to undercut those around him, specifically Kacper Jędrzejczyk, because of course the two of them both starting on the medium tyre will get a good view of how powerful the undercut is at this circuit. But Krabs in a lot of clean air now, 16 seconds back from Goat Ghosty. We'll see how
that's on track.
Long as Milan is on track, and that is a VSC there. As Milan retires on track. I'm not sure quite how he lost it out the final corner. But VSC... Milan will not score a point. VSC could be huge to the races of Kacper Jędrzejczyk, Esko Klevi, Ethan Quigley and Dom here. Although Dom is 4 and a bit seconds back. But Kacper and Esko Klevi. Leonard Minders speeding under VSC. It goes green just at the end. Mark Daniel and Goat Ghosty also with drive-through penalties, so their races go from bad to worse. 3 drivers there caught out by the VSC coming to an end, but that is crucial timing for it as Goat Ghosty retires in the pit lane. That is another retirement for the Ferrari driver, which takes him now to 8 retirements in his career. 8 retirements in 15 races. Not a good ratio to have whatsoever. But yeah, that is huge timing for the safety car to come to an end, because Kacper thought he might get a free pit stop there, and he hasn't. But in saying that, Krabs is still 2.5 seconds back.
A battle. Robin and Risbo.
Robin and Risbo battling over 7th place at the moment, side by side through the middle sector they go. Robin up the inside. He is the man making moves at the moment, and FST Robin is up into 7th, but gets a 3-second time penalty there, as you saw, for cutting the corner slightly. But yeah, up into 7th. Robin is probably the only driver on track at the moment trying to make overtakes.
I mean, we've got Parker and Esko Klevi there, separated by under half a second, so maybe maybe have a little overtake here.
Guess
Oh,
what?
No, we
Nope.
won't.
I was about to say, guess what's going to happen here? He is about to come into the pit lane, and we have seen 5 retirements now in this race. Lennon Minders and Goat Ghosty both retiring due to their speeding in the pit lane penalties. They decided not to continue on. Esko Kalevi has a fresh set of hard tyres on, and let's see where he comes out then in comparison to this man here, Katsby and Jacek, heading down the pit straight at the moment. Keep an eye for Esko Kalevi on the right hand side. He is coming out of the pit lane, and we can't really see him. Let's take off the timing. There it is. Catsbear cleanly through. Behind them, though, Esko comes out crucially ahead of Krabs. Now, I believe when Krabs made his pit stop, he was actually ahead of the Williams. So the overcut for Esko Kalevi has actually worked here. And how much is that? Has that been influenced by that VSC then? So we now wait, pretty much, for the top 9 to make their pit stops. Everyone 10th and below has come into the pit lane. We have the top 2 of Tom and Takubi battling over the lead, but we say battling. It's not really a battle at the moment. They have been one behind the other for all 13 laps so far. Takubi has led every single lap of this race currently, and behind them, Parker is in third, but 2.8 seconds back, and the question of can he catch up to the leaders right now is a resounding no. Mark Daniel doesn't serve his drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC and has been disqualified. I mean,
that's interesting.
I'm not sure when that VSC ended. I feel like Mark maybe thought he had one extra lap, maybe. Because the VSC ended just as they were coming up to the start-finish line. I'm wondering if that counted it as the first lap he could serve it under, because it's only been 2 laps since he got that penalty, and you normally have 3 laps to serve it. So I wonder if, as he was coming through the final corner and got awarded it, it counted that as that's your first lap to serve it. So maybe Mark, a slight miscommunication with the pit wall or something, but very unfortunate for him after such an impressive debut in Baku, where he went from 9th on the grid to finish in 2nd place and was leading for a time as well. He is now disqualified from the race, and yeah, not a weekend to remember for him. Out at the front, about to start lap 15 of 29, Takubi and Tom continue on. Robin gets another 3-second time penalty. That takes him up to 6 seconds with Venzi on 3. And out at the front, we continue on. The gap to leader is one that we should keep an eye on. Katsby and Jacek, 24.6 seconds back at the moment. Now, I'm not entirely sure how long this pit lane is. Robin
is out. That's the safety car.
Robin has gone straight on at turn 1. And I think he might be getting in some trouble with the stewards after that one, because that is not a natural position to retire the car. That is going straight on at turn 1. And whilst it has given us entertainment, and I expect to see a flurry of action in the pit lane from now to the finish, yeah, shouldn't really be doing that. But entertainment, guys. For an entertainment value, we thank Robin. I don't feel like the McLaren team principal will be thanking Robin, though.
McLaren are cooking.
McLaren, a double DNF for them.
Who's
that
the
is.
team principal?
I am not entirely sure off the top of my head.
He said his wheel died.
He said his wheel died. Then maybe not. That might just be an unfortunate incident for him. I'm sure the stewards will ask to see proof of it dying, but for Lucci's, not a good time. Lou, you probably want to make sure your driver has got some evidence of the wheel dying there, because I get a feeling otherwise he might potentially get in some trouble for that one. Takubi then comes into the pits, and this is where we expect to see a lot of action then. Takubi, Tom, both into the pits. Parker into the pits as well to double stack for the V-Car team, but he is 7 seconds clear of the cars behind him. I think he will be able to still come out in 3rd place. Onto the mediums goes Takubi. What about the V-Carbs? Mediums for Tom Campbell, and I expect they'll try and take them all the way to the end of this race. And with the safety car being out, probably until the end of lap 17 as a guess, I think they should be able to just take them to the end. You can see Katsuya and Jacek in the top right corner of your screen at the moment, and that has cost him big time. Takubi comes out
The
in
end
the
of lap
lead.
18, I think. Can you see where Callum is?
Potentially, I think within 2 laps he should have been able to catch up. Because we're on 16 at the moment. It won't come in this lap, but I reckon by the end of the next one, maybe it will. But Takubi then continues to lead, as he has done in every single lap of this race so far. That safety car has allowed him to keep the 100% laps led record in this race.
Oh dear, I just realised the stat.
Kacper Jędrzejczyk up to 3rd, but on hard tyres and surrounded by medium tyre runners. Ollie, what is the stat that you have seen?
Last time Takubi was leading under safety car, his wheel died.
Thanks for reminding me of that one. Well, let's see what happens this time around. Takubi was in a fantastic position. No, he wasn't. He was 3rd. When he was it was Mark Daniel who was leading last time in Baku under safety car.
However, it was under safety car. That part is correct.
Last time we had a safety car and Takubi was in a good position, yes, that did happen.
So
Callum has pitted for fresh mediums, so I expect we will be going one more lap. I think by the time we get to this sort of position on lap 17, I think Callum will have caught up to the back of the field by then. So I expect we will go racing on lap 18, or get ready to go racing at the end of lap 17. For the medium runners, they'll be quite happy to have more safety car laps, because it means their tyres are more likely to last until the end of this race. We saw Kacper do 12 laps on his mediums before coming in. Or 11 or 12 laps on his mediums, I believe it was, before coming in. These guys have to make them go 14. So it's not going to be easy for them to get to the end. But I'd say it's just about possible.
They're having the safety car that's obviously reducing their tyre wear, so that's kind of the saving grace for these guys. But yeah, it still might be tough if they're going to be pushing flat out.
Absolutely. So, tell you what, while we are under safety car, let's have a look at the provisional drivers' standings after today. The fastest lap currently going to Dom, which means that there is no extra point being awarded for fastest lap currently tonight. But taking a look at the order at the moment, so with Takubi leading, he stays 4th in the champion. I'll say improves to 4th in the championship, overtakes Kacper Jędrzejczyk, who drops to 5th in the drivers' standings. At the moment, though, the all-important one, Parker 4th, Esko Klevi 5th. Parker currently on 105 points, Esko Klevi on 100. So 5 points between them in the drivers' championship. If it ends how it currently is, it would be Tom Campbell on 78 in 3rd, Takubi on 73 in 4th, and Kacper Jędrzejczyk on 71 in 5th. So a fantastic battle for 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, and all 3 of them slightly catching up to the championship lead as well, but still a long way off. That is 27 points off the championship lead for Tom Campbell at the moment. And I think we're going one more lap here.
Yeah, I think we are indeed. And yeah, I just noticed that Krabs, after running in that top 6, I want to say, is now down in 11th. So, not sure what's happened to the Aston Martin.
So, Krabs has done 2 pit stops in this race. So, I believe he had pitted onto... I'm going to look, actually, what Krabs' strategy has been. So, he has gone for the harder tyre allocation. He started this race on mediums. He made a pit stop onto hard tyres. And then under the safety car, he has made a second pit stop onto a second set of hard tyres. So he doesn't actually believe that his hards were going to go to the end, or he just wanted slightly fresher tyres. So, yeah, he has made another pit stop. Supply Raptor, now up in the points, by the way. So, a much better result and outcome at the moment for him. But we will see what happens in these closing 11 laps it will be. Just having a look at everyone else in the championship currently. And right now, let me take a look actually at the teams championships. I think VCarb are extending their lead at the moment, and indeed they are. So Ferrari with a second pole through to Kubi. They are first at the moment with Goat Ghosty retiring, but I believe they are staying fourth in the Constructors' Championship just because of how big the gap is. But that sums up this race, to be honest.
It's been a long day, and this is just slowly putting me to sleep, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it has been far from a classic. We said that after Baku it would be tough to get a race anywhere near as good, and it certainly has been a tough watch so far. But with only 11 laps to go in this race when we cross the line, hopefully it will start to improve a little bit. It will be pretty much a sprint to the finish anyway, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see who comes out on top in this one. But Takubi will lead us away, and we'll get ready to go racing as we start lap 19 of 29. Takubi has led every single lap of this race, and he'll hope to lead every single lap to the flag and take a record-breaking victory. Away we go again under the lights in Qatar, and Takubi leads us away. Anyone close enough to make a move? He is close on those fresh medium tyres against the older hards, and we've got Parker challenging at the moment. Trosh is making a move on Risbo around the outside of turn 2. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, wheels locked together, and Risbo will just about hold on, but Trosh is still alongside, but eventually will back out of the move, or will he? He's still alongside through the double right-hander, but Risbo holds on to the position and stays in 8th place for the time being. Further forward, not much to write about at the moment. Parker all over the back of Katsby and Jacek. He needs to make this move soon if he wants to try and get a car between him and Esko Kalevi, because those mediums will start to wear as this race goes on. A brief yellow flag there, but it has been waved away.
Oh, Venzi's making a move on Esko Kalevi. Wow.
Shocking camera angles, Soros, but yes, Venzi makes the move. Esko Kalevi down into 6th place now. Venzi and the Red Bull up into 5th.
Oh, he has a penalty.
And that just extends the gap for Parker in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. Although, Parker gets a penalty, and that could be crucial. 3 seconds to the VCarb, 3 seconds to the Red Bull right behind him. And as it stands now, Esko Kalevi is up into 4th in this race and will be closing the gap in the Drivers' Championship instead. Maybe even taking the lead of the championship, depending on how far Parker falls come the checkered flag. Takubi leads the way, still unthreatened at the front. It's Katsby and Jacek who's having to look at his mirrors most so, with Parker filling them at the moment.
I was going to say something, and I saw we had Ethan Quigley actually challenging Esko Kalevi into turn 1. So maybe Esko just hasn't got the pace.
Williams. Yeah, no team orders at Williams. And we've seen that at all teams so far this season. There's been no real team orders at VCarb either. As we saw Tom Campbell lead home a VCarb 1-2 in Brazil, where his teammate was right behind him, but he didn't let him through. He wanted that win for himself, and VCarb granted him that opportunity. And, well, boy, did he take it. But at the moment, it is Tom in 2nd, Parker down in 4th. Ollie has had a seizure by the sounds of it in the commentary box, and we will be calling a medical team to come and assist him very quickly.
Give me 2 seconds. Wow. How is that not a warning? Good lord.
So, Takubi leads the way. 5/10 of a second clear of Tom Campbell, who is, of course, within the DRS. Takubi sets the fastest lap, and that is another point going his way. Win and fastest lap currently. And that will take him to within 4 points of the man behind him in the race, and ahead of him in the championship as Trosh and Risbo are at it again through turn 1. This time the Haas gets the move done, and he's up into P8 ahead of the other man on the medium tyres in Risbo, who drops to 9th.
Esko is on the bubble here with dropping out of the 1 second window. He was out of it as we went into turn 1, but I think he's managed to claw back a few tenths again to just stay within that little gap. Obviously the DRS isn't really that powerful. I mean, it's only one
Yeah.
DRS zone, and obviously these guys are running higher downforce anyway, but still, it's a valuable thing to have as he's actually gapped his teammate now, so...
Yeah, we're riding on board with Ethan Quigley at the moment, and maybe a message from pit wall telling him to back off a bit from his teammate because he is almost a second further back now after trying to attempt the move into turn 1. Of course, the two Williams drivers using different liveries here. You can see the Gulf sponsored livery on Ethan's car compared to the much darker livery on Esko Kalevi's. He is within a second of the cars ahead of him, but Catsbear holding up a bit of a train at the moment with Parker and his teammate just behind. What have you seen, Ollie?
I'm just running through warnings on most of the drivers. Takubi's on 2, Tom Campbell on 1, Casper on 2. So Tom Campbell is the safest out of our top 3 at the moment.
Currently he is, and Parker's thinking of a move on Catsby and Jacek. There was a bit of contact between the two of them. The switchback from Parker here as we ride on board with the V-Cub. Can he get the inside line for turn 4? No, he can't. He has to back off, but will he get a better run through the double right-hander by starting closer to the left-hand side and maybe a lunge into the hairpin? But he's not close enough. But Parker here, he smells an opportunity to extend his championship lead, and with that 3-second time penalty, he needs as much of a gap between him and Esko Clevi as he possibly can. With 3 seconds currently, Parker is dropping all the way down into 8th place. It will be very costly as his championship rival will be up in 4th, which, if I do the quick maths here with the spreadsheet, that would be enough for Esko to take the championship lead by 5 points as it stands if Parker drops down into 8th place. So, yeah, he is getting desperate to make the move on Catsbear as soon as possible. Out at the front, Tom Campbell starting to drop back from Takubi, who seems to have this race in absolute control.
I think Risbo's about to retire.
And there it is. We're down to 12 cars. That is a double DNF for Alpine, a double DNF for McLaren, and then single retirements for Ferrari, Mercedes, Sauber and Haas. So not a good day to be an Alpine fan whatsoever. A 3rd race in a row where at least one driver has retired. Their 9th retirement of the season. It has not been a fun season for them. We're up to 42 total retirements in Tier 1 this season. We're only 2 off the total. What's that?
We need Driver back.
We do. He is on 9 straight DNFs, is Jivadar, if he was to return. But yeah, we're up to, with the 8 retirements of tonight, that takes us to 42 retirements in the 8 rounds we've had this season. We had 44 total last season, so if there are just 2 retirements in the final 4 rounds, we will equal that total from last season. So it has been a season of high attrition, it's fair to say, although last season didn't have many retirements compared to other seasons. We've had 50 plus through seasons 12, 13 and 14.
Casper almost out of DRS here. He's on the bubble.
He is getting close, and if he does fall out of DRS, you have to say Parker is favourite to get that move done. We'll take a look at the interval gaps now, and Casper 0.9 of a second back. Tom Campbell's closed back up on Takubi a little bit here, and is within half a second, but Catsbear just about getting himself within DRS territory. But of course we have the whole middle sector still to come before that detection point, so we will keep an eye on that.
These guys have to be so careful not to get a warning. Casper and Takubi both on 2 warnings, Tom on 1, so you can maybe take a tiny bit more risk, but oh god, I can't. If I see a Takubi penalty, I think I probably will throw my controller.
He has been waiting for a number of races for this record-breaking win. He took victory at his home race in Belgium back in round 4. The last 3 races, he's been there or thereabouts in every single one. He was 7th in Singapore, but had some decent pace. He was 3rd in Brazil, and if it wasn't for The V-Carb's just running away at the front. He could have been in the battle for the win there. He should have been in the battle for the win last week in Baku, but finished with a DNF instead after his wheel suffered some issues, despite running third behind the final safety car. An odds-on favourite for the win at that point of the race. Tonight, he has led every single lap so far.
Oh, we have a battle. Quigley and Trosh.
So it was Robin in the first half of the race who was putting in the battling. It's now Trosh in the second half as he looks to go around the outside of the Williams at the hairpin at turn 6. Side by side, he gets the move done. Ethan Quigley go try and respond again, but not close enough into turn 7. Trosh gets the move done, and the Haas is up into P7. Fantastic work by him to get himself this high up in the race. A really, really strong performance by the Estonian. They are 4 seconds back, though, from the front train. We have got 2 very clear trains of 6 here, with the top 6 and the bottom 6 all separated. And, well, after it being Casper a couple of laps ago who was saying it was almost dropping out at DRS, it's now Parker who is struggling to hold on. Are those medium tyres starting to wear away then for
Tom Campbell.
The drivers on the mediums? Tom Campbell getting closer. Takubi goes defensive round the outside. Goes Tom Campbell for the lead of this race. There's contact between the two of them. They go wide. Supply Raptor retires in the pits. They're still side by side here for the lead of this race. And Tom pushes Takubi wide. He's still on the inside of the V-Carb. Side by side we go. There's wheel banging between the two of them. Can he get the move done? And finally around the outside goes the V-Carb. And Takubi loses the lead for the first time in this race. He's led all of the first 25 laps. And on lap 26, Tom Campbell finally grabs the bull by the horns and puts his Racing Bulls car into the lead of this race.
Damn, that you just spat some bars then. Fucking hell. That was, yeah, fair fucking place. Tom Campbell, lovely move to hold it around the outside. Well, yeah, hold it around the outside of turn 1, to the inside of turn 2, outside again of turn 3, and then obviously the double right-hander. Just they were banging wheels. Yeah. I thought one of them was about to just spear off into the wall.
So, Trosh, I've just noticed, is 11 seconds back, and Dom has left the session, I think also retired his car. I'm wondering if there may have been a little bit of action go on further back. Maybe between Trosh and Ethan Quigley, maybe Dom involved as well. But we are down to 10 runners. We have equalled the number of retirements from last season, as we have our 43rd and 44th retirement of the season. Wow. I don't know what's funny by that.
It's just that this is Qatar, and this is how many DNFs we're having.
It's insane. Say it's a track where the walls are literally 2 country miles away from the circuit. We somehow have had 10 retirements, well, 9 retirements and a disqualification. But on lap 27 and 29, it is Tom who leads the way. Trosh pits for soft tyres, and he'll be going for that fastest lap point in these closing laps. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we see AMS Callum potentially come into the pit lane at the end of this lap, because he's outside of DRS of his teammate, and if he pits at the end of this lap, he can go with one lap fresher tyres and potentially steal the fastest lap away from Trosh if he takes it. So Trosh may be pitting a lap early there, but anyway, Tom Campbell will continue to lead us. Does Takubi have an answer, or is his wait for a record-breaking 11th win going to go on for one more race? At the moment, it looks certain that we are going to have a repeat winner for the first time this season. But here comes Takubi getting closer to Tom Campbell. To the inside goes the Ferrari, and that was simple by comparison of the overtake the previous lap. Takubi gets the move done. He'll squeeze Tom through towards turn 2. And he's back into the lead of this race.
Well, a regular scheduled program resumes.
Well, we say that, but Tom will be charging his battery up big time, and he does currently have more battery than Takubi. Takubi, about half battery, Tom with closer to 2/3 of a battery, although he does use some there on the exit of turn 6, so he's a bit worried Takubi is trying to get away from him on this lap. But, yeah, currently, Parker is only going to drop back 2 places because of his time penalty. He's going to drop down to, 1 place for Parker. Esko Clevi will get up into 4th as things stand. Parker will drop to 5th. Venzi, it is, who will drop potentially to 7th. But that depends on whether Ethan Quigley can finish within 6 seconds. Tom Campbell gets a penalty, and that is race done for him. Tom Campbell will not be your victor here tonight. 3-second penalty for the V-Carb. Does he slow down and let his teammate through at this point? You have to ask. But Tom will want to still think he stands a chance at the championship. Here comes Tom Campbell. Takubi goes defensive, but he doesn't put up too much of a fight because he doesn't need to. He has the 3 seconds in hand, and now it's Katzber he needs to worry about instead, as Venzi also picks up another time penalty. He's up to 9 seconds here as we are on the last lap. Lap 29 of 29 in Qatar. Tom takes the lead, but Takubi is in the driving seats at the moment to win here under the lights. Tom is going to drop back at least 1 place. We have the gap to leader up to the screen at the moment, and right now Tom is dropping behind Esko Kalevi as well. Esko will find himself on the podium as it stands. Can the Williams get the most unlikely of podiums here in Qatar? And will Takubi finally get that record-breaking victory? Will Tom Campbell be able to get rid of another 3-second time penalty as he did in Baku? I don't think he will this time around. And as we come through the final sector, it may be the Australian in the lead who runs wide a little bit, actually going through turns 13 and 14. Ollie is groaning in the background. There are things going on, but Tom Campbell is going to lead us away through the final corner. He has a 3-second time penalty, which is going to take away the win. And you are witnessing history, ladies and gents. Takubi, 11-time race winner. The record in Tier 1 is broken at last. Tom Campbell holds on to 3rd in the end as Esko Kalevi drops to 4th.
He missed out.
Sorry, it is only 4th. And wow, Venzi retires somewhere, but I think that's just him leaving the session early. So he will claim that, what I believe is 9th place finish for him. But Takubi breaks the record at last. J Repo, Michal Opalka, Panos Veras. No more are they joint race win record holders. Takubi stands clear of them all. 11 wins for the Belgian, 10 for the other 3. He is surely now the undisputed GOAT of Tier 1. 12 poles, the most of any driver. 11 wins, the most of any driver. Takubi makes history in Qatar. And, well, for all of 2 laps, this race came alive.
Yeah, it was a bit underwhelming, unfortunately.
It certainly was, but there is the man who will stand at the top of the podium. He's joined by Tom Campbell on the podium, which we didn't expect after his penalty.
I've just seen something from Tom Campbell saying in the chat. Takubi saying, "You even scared me when you screamed my name on stream." Oh, funny. Oh, funny. Yeah, Tom saying that you could possibly get a warning removed, but he then got one on the final lap, on the final corner. So...
Wow.
Oh.
So, yes, it could have been P1 for Tom Campbell, but a mistake right at the end, which first of all got him the penalty, and then getting another warning, which meant he couldn't get it removed. And that is what gives Takubi the race win here. And what a historic moment for the Belgian. He becomes the most successful driver in Tier 1 history. Katsby and Jacek back-to-back podiums, and it was so nearly another win for him. Tom Campbell 3rd in the end. Esko Kalevi 4th, with Parker only dropping 1 place into 5th. Ethan Quigley crosses the line in 6th. It's Krabs in 7th in the end for Aston Martin. AMS Callum in 8th, getting double points for Aston Martin, with Trosh 9th and Venzi in 10th. Trosh also picking up an extra point for fastest lap, so it was worth him pitting in the end. Venzi will be disappointed with 10th place, though. I am absolutely certain of that. But, wow, there is the end of Qatar. It wasn't a classic. It wasn't Baku. But it came alive, as I say, for the last 4 laps, I'd say. Had some actual good racing in there.
What's our next track?
The next track, we are back under the lights in Las Vegas next week. So that will be an entertaining one.
A better one.
Absolutely, yeah. That will be a race I'm very much looking forward to commentating on. That is always an exciting one, and it's such a stunning circuit to look at least. Even if it isn't particularly to drive it sometimes. It's a very incredible circuit, really, with everything going on around it. So then, driver of the day in that, well, half the field retired, so that whittles it down quite quickly. We only have 10 drivers, really, that we can pick from in this race. Ollie, who are you leaning towards in that one? We had Takubi, who led for, I believe it was 26 or 27 of the 29 laps. We have, you know, that's to be honest, there's not much else that happened further back. There was Trosh. Yeah. There was Trosh that put in some good moves in the second half of that race. He gave us some entertainment at least.
He also took fastest lap at the end.
And gets a fastest lap point, albeit down in 9th place. But, yeah, he put up a little bit of entertainment for us, at least.
Yeah.
I'm
going to give it to Kabubi. To Kabubi? What the fuck?
To Kabubi. We love Kabubi around here.
Oh, God.
That one's probably going to stick, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, Takubi takes the win, and I've been totting up the Drivers' Championship in the meantime, and with that 5th place finish, Parker retains the championship lead. If he had been in 6th, he would have lost it. That's how close it is to Parker, 103 points with his 5th place finish. Esko Kalevi in 4th takes him to 102. We are 1 point in it once again in the Drivers' Championship. Tom Campbell with 3rd closes the gap on the top 2, albeit it is still 28 points to the championship lead for him. He is on 75. Takubi just 2 points further back, albeit 2 places further back. Katsby and Jacek 4th in the championship, 74 points. Takubi 5th, 73 points. Just 2 points separate 3rd, 4th and 5th. So a fantastic battle between some titans of Tier 1 over 3rd place at the moment. 6th, I believe, is somehow still Nardo. He has not scored points since the 3rd round of the season. He's only scored points in 2 races this season. He's still somehow 6th in the Drivers' Championship. Venzi is 7th with his solitary points on 35 points in total. Then I believe 8th is the second Williams of Ethan Quigley, 9th is Krabs, and 10th is Oliver Knott with his 1 race all season. In terms of the constructors, the provisional standings there, VCarb extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. They're on 178 with Red Bull on 144, Williams 132, Ferrari on 96 and McLaren on 69, your top 5. Albeit just a single point actually between McLaren in 5th and Aston Martin in 6th, and then just 6 further back to Sauber in 7th. So it's starting to get close in the midfield, and there's a battle for 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. But the main focus, of course, is on that Parker v Esko Kalevi battle. So then, that is that for Qatar. And it was far from a classic, but we now turn our attention very quickly away from Qatar after that race, and given everything that is going on in the world, we are going to look towards next weekend with the Las Vegas Grand Prix around the Las Vegas Strip Circuit, and that action will kick-start on Thursday the 12th of March at 8 PM for Tier 4, followed by Tier 3 Friday at 8 PM UK time, and then your Super Saturday as always with Tier 2 at 5 PM, Tier 1 at 8 PM. It will be myself and I believe Ollie once again in the commentary box, and we will very much look forward to seeing you there. Ollie, any last words from yourself?
What am I permitted to say?
Anything you like that won't get us kicked off the air.
Um, hmm.
Inspirational scenes there from Ollie, ladies and gents.
Fucking-
That is a man of many words.
I've got a date tomorrow.
Congratulations. I wish you all the best on your date. You can let us know at the start of Tier 1 in Vegas next week how the date went. I
That's,
wish
that's
you
all.
the
That's all the news I've got. Yeah.
That's all the news, guys. We will see you next week. Starting off on Thursday, as we say, for Tier 4, but myself and Ollie will be back for Tier 1 as well on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. UK time for the first of our US doubleheader to start the final 4 races of Season 16. 1 point in it between Parker and Esko Kalevi, but tonight, history lives with Takubi, your record breaker, your greatest of all time in Tier 1. The Belgians back on top. Good night.
Hey.